First date success, pave way for your second date. First dates are very crucial in a relationship. If you don't act wisely on your first date, you may screw up the whole thing. You should be careful about a lot of things and take appropriate steps to make your way into her heart. In this video, I will be telling you how you can have a successful first date, a date that paves way to the second date. Okay. You've spent hours on online chat and you have finally managed to get her agree for a date. First dates are quite like an interview. As interviews help make your way into a company, first dates make your way into a girl's heart. If you give your relationship a good start with a successful first date, you will develop deeper and long-lasting relationship. I will be guiding you through some methods that will help you have a successful first date. Get well dressed, groom yourself up. Dress yourself well. Women are generally impressed by men who take some effort to polish up their appearance. Look smart and energetic. If you are the type of guy who looks sloppy in shabby hairs, get rid of those. Shaving is also necessary, but don't shave on the very day of the date. This will give her a hint that you are too eager and prepared to meet her. Shave a day before, and by next day, you will have grown some stubble of hair over your cheek. It will make you look sexier. Also check to see if you have a bad body odor or have any food lodged between your teeth. Your clothes. The clothes you wear say a lot about your personality. For instance, if getting well dressed isn't that important for you, it may mean that you don't have an eye for aesthetics. Or it may mean that the outer attributes of any object don't matter to you as long as it functions well. It would mean that, if you were to buy a car, you wouldn't care how it looks, you would just care about how it performs. Wearing shabby clothes to a date may also imply that you are a rather careless person. Your good dress may not have an effect on her, but if you are badly dressed, it surely becomes repulsive. How you should dress yourself. Don't overdress yourself. You would want to look different, but sporting a cowboy hat and leather jeans may be too out of place for a first date. Wear anything that you have worn before and that looks good on you. First dates aren't appropriate for trying new clothes out. Where to meet. Have you decided where you'll be meeting her? Look, before you decide, you should know that first dates aren't for establishing a deep level of relationship. Of course, if you have known her for long via instant messaging, both of you must know a good deal about each other. But still, none of you can feel fully comfortable when meeting for the first time. So, pick a somewhat happening place, rather than a quieter one. A cozy Italian or French restaurant, or if you are on a tighter budget, any modest restaurant will do. However, that doesn't mean you should pick movie theaters. In fact, I would strictly suggest not to choose a theater for first dates. When a movie is playing, there are very slight chances of having a conversation. If the movie is interesting, neither of you would want to get disturbed. You would be staring at the screen most of the time and there would be hardly a chance to maintain a proper eye contact with each other. You may speak occasionally, but it would be rather brusque. Moreover, if you start talking too much, the person sitting next to you may quiet you down. A quiet place may be better for consecutive meets, but if you're meeting for the first time, you will find it hard to talk at such places. When you are at a happening place, you can pick a hook from the surrounding and start a conversation about it. But when you are at some quiet place, you would find it hard to bring up a topic for conversation. Besides that, you would worry more about how she would respond to anything you say. So, you should pick a place where you can be comfortable with each other. Avoid faraway places. Avoid places that take a long time to reach or that require you to hike. Select a place that is easily accessible for both of you. It would be hard to convince a girl to come somewhere far away, and may even give her second thoughts about meeting you. So, avoid distant places at all costs. Be confident. Confidence is the key to attracting any woman. You should be very confident in everything you say and everything you do. Every part of your body should exude a certain level of confidence and determination, a confidence like that of a warrior. It is one of the most important traits that women look for in a man. And if you can impress her with your confidence, you will win a slice of her heart on the very first date. She will be looking at the essential body languages to have an idea on how confident you are. She will be keeping a keen eye on the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you respond, and the way you handle objects. She will essentially be looking for any signs of nervousness, because nervousness is a stark contrast to confidence. As you approach her, she will be watching your strides to see how confident your walking is. So, as soon as you come under her radar, your body languages should start speaking of your confidence. Take long strides, making it appear like you are so confident that you aren't afraid of falling down. Even if you are late, don't appear sweaty and all rushing. Look straight and stretch out your shoulders as you walk. If she has already arrived before you and is seated, say hello or apologize for being late before sitting down. Don't just hurry to park your ass on the chair. You should be confident from the heart so that your every movement speaks of it. Take of it as a test that you aren't worried of flunking. You will do your best. Compliment her appropriately. If she has an amusing smile or thick blonde hair, tell her about it. Don't ever hesitate to compliment, but don't overdo it to a point that it becomes an exaggeration. Also, don't compliment her like you hear in the movies, such as "your eyes are deeper than the bluest ocean" or something similar. How to compliment her and make her blush. Girls love to hear compliments, especially from a guy they are attracted to. Women love to be appreciated for their beauty more than men do. A girl would go an extra mile to look at her best, with hopes of getting the best compliments. However, she would be inclined to hear a sincere compliment rather than some phony line. Such fake compliments instead turn her off. Compliment her beauty. We all have different perceptions towards beauty. Rate her on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how beautiful she appears to you and compliment her appropriately. When she has taken so much effort to look prettier, she sure deserves a compliment. Be polite but not boring. Be polite but not too much that you start to get boring. Don't keep apologizing and pleading for small things. Apologizing too much will take the relationship to a more formal level and it will lack the charm. Say a best friend of yours is waiting for you somewhere. You keep him waiting for at least 15 minutes, and when you finally arrive, you don't even apologize. Your friend will banteringly get mad at you for a while, but then you'd start again like best buddies. Now imagine you are late for a meeting at your office and there are your boss and other seniors waiting for you with resentment on their faces. Now, no matter how many times you apologize, you will be met with questions and resentments. See the difference? Too much formality is a trait of formal relationships, so to develop intimacy, give up too much courtesy. Be humorous and funny. Another thing is that you should be a bit quirky when talking to women. Crack jokes and say things that would make her laugh. Remember, if you have a good sense of humor, you will impress her in the least of time. Impress her with your quirky charm. So, how can you be humorous? Start with thinking about some funny things that happened to you. Things that you did completely out of stupidity. Self-deprecating humor is a great way to please women. Tell her about incidents when you had foolishly done stuff you wouldn't be doing otherwise. Or tell her how you would escape doing things asked by your parents or teachers as a kid. Keep yourself familiar with the latest trends in pop culture. Are you aware of the internet memes that are so ubiquitous these days? If not, then get acquainted with some. The internet memes have had an influential impact on people and is often used to spark humor. For instance, if she tells a story about her punching a guy in the face during her school years, you can tell her, "Okay, we have got a badass over here," referring the Neil deGrasse Tyson meme. Be relaxed when you tell your jokes. Make it flow out of you and tell it like you were just telling some normal story. A joke without mystery doesn't qualify as a joke after all. So, add a touch of mystery to it. If it's a really funny joke, you might yourself start laughing in the middle. Don't do that. It diminishes the humor. Caricature. Who doesn't love caricature? If you can manage, learn to impersonate some celebrities. You can take any celebrity from the movies or TV series. For instance, you can just impersonate Sheldon Cooper, the guy from Big Bang Theory. Laugh at her jokes. Laugh at her jokes and banter. If you expect her to laugh at your jokes, make sure you laugh at hers too. Try to manage a short and genuine laughter even when her joke isn't funny. Don't overdo. Joke like a gentleman and keep it limited to a point that it doesn't look like bullying. Don't make fun of people for their physical shortcomings like short stature or anything. It is a big turn-off. Aren't you funny by nature? Some people aren't funny by nature. However, you can still try being funny. You might be surprised, but some rather serious people can come out as funny at times. Remember Steve Zahn's role in the movie National Security? Throughout the movie, he plays a serious guy but still makes you laugh. What I am implying is even if you aren't funny, it doesn't mean that you cannot make others laugh. You can at least attempt to make her laugh. Even if she doesn't find your jokes amusing, she will find you cute that you tried. Look for things in the surrounding that can come off as funny. If you see something funny around you, point her towards it. If you see someone peculiarly dressed, you can simply hint in the direction. This is one of the easiest ways to make her laugh. Don't act like a nerd. I can understand that you must possess a good deal of knowledge on many things. But what kind of things are they? Ask yourself, are they the things that are fun to talk about? Or are they the ones that painfully bore a normal person? Like, if you are a medical student, you would like to talk about medicine and human body, and that's normal. It's okay to discuss those things with people from a related field, but to a regular person, they sound dull and boring. So, if she complains of a cough, don't start with the details on what germs cause it, how it can be prevented, what body parts it affects, and so on. Don't bore girls with your professional knowledge, unless you are sure they find it interesting. Talk about mutual interests. Try to discuss things that you both have a mutual interest in. If she doesn't show much interest in a topic you bring up, simply drop it and pick another one. As far as my experience tells, girls aren't much into sports and games. If you start talking about a football match from last night, she may get bored instantly. However, this isn't true for all girls, as some are keenly into sports. So, discover the things that may be of interest to both of you and start a conversation around it. Don't get too emotional. Don't discuss or bring up topics that make her sentimental. If she starts talking about negatively emotional things, it's even worse. In that case, try to change the topic of discussion. Building a rapport around negative topics isn't very rewarding. After all, you are there to have some fun time together. Women won't get too intimate with you on the very first date. However, if you have talked to her numerous times on online chat, she wouldn't mind opening up to you. She may also tell you about the emotional turmoil she has been through, her troublesome ex-boyfriend and the problems she faced in relationships. If that is the case, you should skillfully deviate her towards another topic. You are on your first date and you are there looking for some fun time with a girl you've just met. It isn't very fruitful flowing in the torrent of her emotions and getting sentimental. Not just that, building relationship on negative rapport topics gives a sad theme to the whole relationship. In the long run, your relationship will be more about sharing sadness than happiness. So, try to avoid building your relationship on a sentimental base. Flirt. Bring out the flirtatious man in you. Even if you don't end up hooking up with her, you should focus on enjoying your date to the fullest. Unless there's any humor and flirtation in your conversation, your date will be dull and uninteresting. If you can please her with your banter and flirtation, she will want to meet you again even if she isn't sure on whether to hook up with you. You can touch her but only on safe areas like the arms, shoulders and the upper back area. Give more priority to flirting with the aid of your funny and humorous talking. Smile. Simply smiling is also a great way to flirt. Look at her eyes and smile now and then during a conversation. Smiling is a way of saying, "I like you and am interested in you." It doesn't have to be just conversations. You can smile after every small event such as after hugging her, giving her a quick peck on the cheek, etc. Smiling is also a great way to compliment. If you flash a smile after kissing her on the lips, it implies that you liked the kiss. Laughing also has a great role in flirtation. If she is being funny, laugh lightly at her jokes and banters. Laughing will also reveal to her that you are an open-hearted person. It will give her a hint of your joviality and establish you as someone with a good sense of humor. Alter your voice lightly. Like you can sometimes whisper your little secret while the two of you lean closer to each other. Vary your voice from its normal form to a whisper and back to normal again. Also, accent some words in a sentence to stress it and give it a rather different meaning that she would comprehend easily. Hold longer eye contacts. Hold longer eye contacts with her. Looking her in the eyes longer than usual will make her aware of your interest in her. Also, when she is speaking, keep your focus on her eyes as if you were lost in its depth. Staring longer into the eyes helps to create a stronger bond and trust. Make a steady eye contact. Don't give furtive glances. As it is your first date, just flirt lightly without bringing up topics related to sex. It might make her feel uncomfortable. Don't be late. Be on time or arrive 5 minutes earlier if possible. If you delay too much, she may not hesitate to leave without informing. After all, it's your first meet and you don't know each other well. Even if you have agreed on picking her up, be exactly on time. If she has called you to pick her up from her home, she may keep you waiting for some minutes while she's busy getting herself dressed. Just wait patiently and don't rush to give a knock on her door. Don't worry, she will know that you are there with the revving of your car. Also, don't leave the radio of your car too loud. It's polite to ask her what music she likes and tune to a station appropriately. Or if you have a music collection, ask her what she would like to listen to. But no matter what music you play, keep the volume low. Volume it up only if she asks you to do so. What to do when you run into someone you know. So you are in the middle of a date when someone you know happens to be dining in the same restaurant and comes over to greet you. Make sure that you introduce her to the person. You can just introduce by her name, and it's not necessary to tell the other person that it's your first date. Remember that you are there to have a fun time with the girl and not with the person you have run into. So, just exchange a few words and continue with your date. This will ensure that you are keenly interested in her. Be the one to pay. It will give her an impression that you aren't very cunning about money. It also indirectly hints that you are interested in hooking up with her. Paying also demonstrates your masculine trait as a protector. If you can, tip the waiter too. I would also suggest you to keep your first date moderately priced. If you splurge too much, it may give her a feeling that you are showing yourself off. If you want, you can spend more lavishly on the subsequent dates if your budget permits. Avoid long dates. Don't make a first date too lengthy. Keep yourself wanting for more rather than trying to get the most out of a first date. You can do the more intensive talking on the subsequent dates. First dates should generally be focused towards building lighter rapport and being more comfortable with each other. No one wants to discuss private stuff or other personal things on their first date. Don't start conversations about her more personal stuff or things that normally a person wouldn't share with a stranger. It's better to make it short and interesting. Just use it to kindle your second meet. Don't drink too much. Don't drink too much. It's okay to have some wine or a beer, but don't drink so much that you pass out on the table. Drinking will also entice you to talk rubbish, and you may end up saying things that you weren't supposed to be saying. If you are a smoker, ask her before you smoke. Some girls are repulsive to smoking and may instantly resent it. Just be polite enough to ask her if it's okay to smoke. Avoid fillers. Get rid of us and ums from your conversation. Using fillers like us and ums or I mean, you know, like etc. are signs of nervousness and lack of confidence. Try to prevent them at all costs. Fillers start coming into play when you aren't sure of what to say or you are too afraid of the consequences that it might bring about. Don't think too much about what to say. If you are rather unsure of it, just don't say it. Be a good listener. Women like men to listen to them. Actually, by nature, women are a bit more talkative than men. If you talk less and listen more, it ensures a very important masculine trait that women love. Intently listen to what she is saying and ask questions referring to her statements. Also, make sure to nod your head from time to time and encourage her to carry on. Don't brag. Normally you would think that the more you tell the good things about yourself, the more impressed will she be. But that's just wrong. Some people are in the habit of bragging endlessly. Women don't like braggers. Instead, they like men who are mysterious. They like men who don't give much about themselves and are difficult to understand. At the end, tell her how you felt about the date. If you like her, tell her how good you felt during the date. Tell her that you had a good time being with her, and as I said earlier, tell her about your desire to meet again. But yes, if you think that she isn't quite a match for you, politely tell her that maybe you two won't make a very good pair. Something like, I enjoyed the time spent together. Thank you very much, but I think that maybe we won't make that good a pair. I wish you find a very capable guy for yourself soon. Just be clear and concise. It's not necessary to tell her why you didn't like her, what are her shortcomings and all that stuff. Part with a short message. If you like her, tell her you are interested for a second meet. Don't fix the venue and the time for the next date right then. You can discuss those things later on through phone or Facebook. If you believe that you two are a match, kiss her at the end of the date. Just give a short kiss, don't be too passionate about it. Girls will understand as soon as you tilt your head for a kiss. If she doesn't want to kiss, she will turn away her head just a bit. If she shows disinterest, keep your kiss for the next time and don't insist. Conclusion: first date is a very important event in any relationship. It can either propel the relationship to newer heights or just put an end to any further possibilities of dating the person. If you keenly follow as I told, your first date will surely be a gateway to your second. So, act wisely and appropriately, so that you make a place in her heart and secure a second date.